Level 1. The Golden Cage. You are 7 years old. Your legs work, your arms work, your eyes are sharp enough to follow the hawk your father releases each morning from the palace steps. Everything works. You don't know yet that this is a gift with an expiration date. Pella is cold in the winter. The palace smells of horses and torch smoke. Your father, Philip II, is gone again. Always gone, bleeding the Greek city-states into submission, one bride and one battle at a time. When he is home, he smells of wine and war and barely looks at you. But your mother looks at you constantly. Olympias tells you every night, her hands pressing your face between her palms, you are not entirely his. She says a god put something in you. She says your blood is not just Macedonian. She keeps snakes in her bedchambers. She is terrifying. You believe her completely. At 13, your father gives you a tutor, not a soldier, a philosopher. The man arrives thin and quiet from the island of Lesbos, carrying scrolls instead of swords. His name is Aristotle. You learn medicine, logic, rhetoric, the nature of the soul. You annotate your copy of the Iliad in the margins and sleep with it under your pillow beside a dagger. Achilles is your mirror. You hold it up every morning. You are learning what the world is. You are not yet learning what you will do to it. But somewhere to the east, beyond Persia, beyond the maps Aristotle draws for you in the dust, there is everything. And you can already feel the pull of it, like a rope tied around your chest, tightening. Level 2. The Empty Throne. You are 16 years old. Your voice has dropped. You are not tall, but you are dense, shoulders wide, neck thick, eyes that people say are two different shades, one grey, one brown. You don't see it yourself. You don't look at your reflection long. Your father leaves for Byzantium. He makes a decision that will haunt him. He leaves you as regent, not a figurehead, a regent. The royal seal, the army at your command. He does not expect anything to happen. The Maedi tribe revolts on the northern border before Philip's ships have cleared the harbour. You don't send a general, you go yourself. You are 16 years old and you march north with a Macedonian force, and you crush the rebellion, raze their city, resettle it with Greeks, and rename it Alexandropolis, after yourself. Your father comes home. He looks at you the way men look at things they created but no longer fully understand. Pride and unease, braided together. Then he takes a new wife. A Macedonian woman, not Olympias, not your mother. At the wedding feast, her uncle drunkenly toasts the hope for a legitimate heir. The implication curdles the air. You throw your cup, Philip draws his sword and stumbles forward, drunk, and falls before he reaches you. You look at your father on the floor, the king of Macedon, on the floor. You take your mother and leave the country. You are not gone long. But when you return, everything between you and your father is glass. Functional, transparent, and one blow from shattering, he is assassinated 2 years later. The killer is caught and executed. Whether your mother arranged it, no one ever proves. You never ask her. Level 3. The Boy King. You are 20 years old. The wound on your thigh from a Thracian spear has closed but not healed. You walk without a limp, but in the cold mornings you feel it. A dull presence, like someone pressing a thumb into the muscle. You are king of Macedon. The generals who served your father watch you the way wolves watch a young stag. Thessaly is threatening to break away. Athens is celebrating Philip's death. Thebes is in open revolt. You do not hold council. You march. Thebes has 6,000 soldiers and ancient walls. You take the city in 3 days. You raze it to the ground, every building, every wall, and sell 30,000 Thebans into slavery. You leave only the temples standing, and the house of the poet Pindar, whose words you memorized as a child. Greece goes silent. The Greek city-states who believed a 20-year-old boy could be managed now understand their mistake. They elect you commander of the Pan-Hellenic campaign against Persia. The war your father had planned, the war you've been promised since childhood. You stand at the edge of Macedon and look east. The Persian Empire stretches from Egypt to India. It is the largest empire the world has ever seen. It is ruled by Darius III, a man who inherited power rather than carved it. You have 37,000 men. Aristotle would say, reason before action. Calculate the odds, weigh the variables. You do not consult Aristotle. You pour a libation into the Hellespont, the strait between Europe and Asia, and you cross it. The Persian shore is waiting on the other side. You throw your spear into the Asian soil. Claimed, the gesture says, by the spear. You are 22 years old and you have just declared war on the world. Level 4, the miracle, you are 22 years old. The arrow went through your armor at the Granicus River and stopped a half-inch from your clavicle. Clytus, your cavalry commander, your friend since boyhood, killed the Persian nobleman who was about to split your skull with a scimitar. You don't sleep the night after. Not from fear, from exhilaration. The Persian satraps of Asia Minor are dead or fleeing. The Greek cities along the Aegean coast are opening their gates as you arrive. They drape their walls with flowers. They call you liberator. At Gordium, someone shows you the famous knot. The prophecy is old. Whoever unties the Gordian knot will rule Asia. Every king who has tried has failed. The knot has no visible ends. It is a puzzle wrapped in myth. You study it for a moment, you draw your sword and cut it in half. The men roar. The priests are uncertain. You move on. At Issus, Darius himself comes to meet you, with 100,000 soldiers against your 40,000. You see him across the field. A tall man, an imperial man, a man who has never had to be hungry, or desperate, or fast. You target him personally. You drive your cavalry through the Persian center, like a nail through wood, straight at the royal chariot. Darius runs. The king of kings, the master of the largest empire on earth, abandons his chariot, his weapons, and his family. His mother, his wife, his daughters, and flees. You capture them. You treat them like royalty. You tell Darius's mother, your son is not defeated. The wheel of fortune simply turned. It is the most elegant thing you have ever done. You are winning. You are 24 years old, and you are winning. But Darius is still alive, and ahead of you is Egypt, and beyond Egypt, Persia itself, and beyond Persia, something even your maps don't name yet. Level 5, the rotting throne. You are 27 years old. The desert air of Egypt has dried your lips until they crack. The soles of your feet are hardened leather. You have been marching, always marching, for 5 years without going home. You are Pharaoh now. The priests of Amun have declared it. At the oracle of Siwa, deep in the Libyan desert, the priest calls you son of Amun, son of the god. You neither confirm nor deny it. You let it live in the air like smoke. You found a city at the mouth of the Nile. You name it Alexandria. You draw the plans yourself in the sand, pacing out the boulevards while the architects write them down. You will never live there. You will never see it finished. But it will outlast everything. Then, Gaugamela, Darius has rebuilt. 1,000,000 men, they say. Surely an exaggeration, but the dust cloud is real and it stretches to the horizon. You win anyway. You always win. But Darius flees again. He is murdered by his own men before you can reach him. You find his body on the road. You take off your cloak and cover him. You give him a royal burial. You are, now, officially, king of Persia. The men expect to go home. You tell them you are going further. The first cracks appear. Philotas, the son of your greatest general, is accused of conspiracy. You convict him. You execute him. Then, because his father will not survive this and will seek revenge, you have Parmenion, your oldest commander, killed too, a man who served your father, a man who helped crown you. You do it anyway. You do it because you cannot afford not to. That night you sit alone and you don't feel like a god. Level 6, the iron will. You are 29 years old. The scar on your shoulder pulls when you raise your sword arm above your head. You raise it anyway. You are in Bactria, modern Afghanistan, and nothing here is like anything before. The mountains are wrong. The people vanish into them. You win every battle and hold nothing. You take a fortress and 3 more appear. It is war without edges, without the clean geometry of a Greek battlefield. You take a local wife, Roxana, daughter of a Bactrian nobleman. Your Macedonian generals are appalled. You don't care. You understand in a way they don't that you are not just conquering, you are becoming. The empire cannot be held by force alone. It must believe in itself. You start wearing Persian dress. You ask your men to perform proskynesis, the Persian bow, prostrating before the king. The Macedonians refuse. This is the custom of slaves, they say. This is not Greek. Callisthenes, your official historian, leads the resistance. He writes pamphlets against you. You have him arrested. He dies in custody. Then the worst night. A feast. Too much wine. Clytus, the man who saved your life at Granicus, starts shouting. He mocks your Persian clothes. He says your father Philip was the greater king. He says you've forgotten where you came from. You reach for a spear. You throw it. It goes through him. You hold his body for hours. You refuse food for 3 days. Your generals sit outside your tent and say nothing. You killed the man who saved your life. This is the cost of what you're building. You have paid it. You will pay it again. India is ahead. The men don't know that yet. Level 7, the last ride. You are 30 years old. Your left shoulder no longer rotates fully. You compensate. You have always compensated. You are at the Indus River. Porus, the Indian king, meets you with 200 war elephants. Your horses have never seen elephants. They panic. You watch your cavalry dissolve, and you reorganize mid-battle, on horseback, under fire, and you find the gap, and you push through it, and you win. You write to Porus after. He is enormous, almost 7 feet tall, bleeding. Captured, you ask him how he wishes to be treated. As a king, he says. You give him his kingdom back. You give him more land. You ride on. Then, the Hyphasis River. The edge of the known world, according to everything you've ever read. Beyond it, the Ganges. Beyond that, more. You call an assembly. You tell your men what lies ahead. You are magnificent. You are compelling. You have never lost a battle. You have never lost their loyalty. Coenus stands up, white-haired, 20 years your senior. He speaks for the men. We want to go home, he says. We want to see our wives. We want to see our children who have become men while we were away. We have given you everything. We have nothing left to give. The army weeps. You are furious. You go to your tent. You wait 3 days for them to change their minds. They don't. You turn around. It is the only battle you ever lose, and it costs you nothing except the world beyond the river, which you will spend the rest of your life reaching for in your dreams. Conus dies of illness 3 weeks later. You don't know what you feel. Level 8, the Blind King. You are 31 years old. The arrow entered your lung at the city of Mali. You ordered the assault personally. You went over the wall first because your men were hesitating, and you landed on the other side alone, surrounded, and kept fighting until they came over after you. The arrowhead is still inside you. Cutting it out nearly kills you. Recovery takes weeks. For the first time, your men believe you might actually die. You show yourself at the tent flap, standing, so they can see you. The army cheers. You feel the cheer in your ribs, where the wound is still wet. The march through the Gedrosian desert kills 15,000 people. Soldiers, camp followers, wives, children. You do not have enough food. You do not have enough water. The desert is a 60-day dying. You walk with them. You refuse to ride. When a soldier brings you a helmet full of water, precious, irreplaceable, you pour it onto the sand in front of everyone. If everyone suffers, you say, I suffer too. They worship you for it. They are also dying around you. You reach Persepolis. You receive reports. The governors you left behind have been corrupt, brutal, murderous. You execute them. One by one, you execute them. The men you trusted, the men you appointed, the infrastructure of the empire you bled to build. The empire is rotting from the inside while you stood at its farthest edge. Hephaestion is still with you, your oldest friend. Some say more than a friend. He has been with you since Aristotle's school. Since boyhood, since before you were anything. He is the only thing that has not yet cost you. Level 9. The Sand Castle. You are 32 years old. The Ecbatana fever takes Hephaestion in the autumn. You sit by his body for 2 days. You won't let them move him. You cut your hair, the Macedonian gesture of grief, and you order the sacred flame at the temple of Ahura Mazda extinguished. You order a funeral pyre so expensive it costs 10,000 talents. Then you go to war against the Cosaeans, a mountain tribe, a tribe that has done nothing particular to you. You kill them all. It takes 40 days. You return to Babylon, and something in you has been rearranged. You plan a naval campaign to circumnavigate Arabia. You plan a campaign into the Western Mediterranean, Carthage, Rome, Spain. Why not? Why stop? The Babylonian priests warn you not to enter the city. The omens are bad. You enter anyway. You have never listened to omens. You begin planning. You sit with maps. You drink. More than you used to. The wine helps with the lung, you tell yourself. The wine helps with the shoulder. The wine helps. Your friends hold a banquet. Medius of Larissa. A late night. More wine. You drink all of it that is put in front of you. Something shifts. You feel it in your stomach first, then your chest. You return to the palace. By morning you have a fever. You do not yet know this fever has a name. Level 10. The price. You are 32 years old. The fever will not break. You are carried on a litter now to let the soldiers see you. Because they have heard rumors and they are afraid, and you understand, even now, that a king must be seen. You raise your hand to them from the litter. You cannot lift your head. They file past in silence, these men who have followed you from Macedon to Egypt to Persia to India and back. Some of them are weeping. Some just look at your face, checking the face like men checking a wall for cracks, hoping to be wrong about what they see. You can no longer speak. Perdiccasques, who should inherit the empire. You look at him. You gather what is left. The strongest, you say. It is your last sentence. 10 days after the first fever. June 11th, 323 BC. You are 32 years old and 8 months, and you stop. They do not know what to do with your body. They argue for days. Your generals, who will, within 40 years, divide your empire between themselves and destroy everything you built. Argue about where to bury you, while your body lies there growing warm. Your empire fractures before your funeral is finished. But the cities you founded, 70 of them, your name on all of them, remain. Alexandria in Egypt will become the intellectual center of the ancient world. The Silk Road, the trade routes, the spread of Greek language and thought and art across 3 continents. All of it flows from this one man who could not stop moving. You covered more ground in 13 years than any army in human history. You never lost a battle, not once, not ever. You were also, by the end, lonely in ways no word in any of your 6 languages could reach. 2 years after your death, your mother Olympias is executed by your former generals. Your son by Roxana, Alexander IV, is murdered at age 13, before he can inherit anything. Your line ends there. Your name does not.